Instructions. Anyone wishing to make any comment today, please speak loud into the microphone so our online visitors can hear what we're up to. And so we're starting with the highways this morning. And Brian, you've got an agenda here. We'll call the October 27th Bruce County Highways Committee to order. First thing, of course, on the agenda is everyone needs to disclose, if anyone has any pecuniary interest, please disclose it at the time if it happens to be on the agenda. And on to action items then. Brian, 2A is the Robertson Culvert Bridge Culvert Budget Transfer attached. Do you want to walk us through that, please, Brian?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think it worthwhile to skip down a couple of slides all the way to County Road 40, a map of the central part of Bruce County. A bit of background is on Road 40 from Grey County all the way to Highway 21. In 2010-11, we did that short section from Grey Bruce Line to Road 10. 2012, we did from Road 10 to Dobbington, and Dobbington, Road 13. In 2013, we went to the 20th side road. This year, we had budgeted to come from the 20th side road, go to Bruce Road 3. We had two spot improvements, one being the culvert, replacement of the culvert, and the second being a hill over on lot 15. So that work was done. It included pulverizing, adding gravel, and paving, and the paving was finished yesterday. Also included in this year's budget was from the Turner's Bridge, 10K to County Road, or to Highway 21. If I can return back to that short section from County Road 3 to the Turner's Bridge, that section of road was redone in 2004 when we actually did the bridge. 2005, we assumed that road from County Road 3 to Highway 21, and this year we recycled and paved from the bridge to Highway 21. So now we're thankful that we've now got that entire corridor complete from the west to east or vice versa. I would be remiss if I didn't mention, when I look at corridors from east to west, to look at the County Road 15 corridor that starts at Inverhuron, Tiverton, Glamis, Pinkerton, and then stops at Road 3. The potential, if you recall back many years ago, to extend that corridor over the Nags Bridge that was replaced about 2009 towards Elmwood. That would create another complete corridor of County Road east-west. So I do want to mention that. There is the potential of that sometime in the future. Now, Mr. Chairman, to return to the subject at hand, which is the that section of Bruce Road 40 from County Road 3 to Eldersley Side Road 20. I had originally included the replacement of the culvert in the road project. It's one of those culverts that... Can you really speak into the mic? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. To return, our issue at hand is that culvert on Bruce Road 40. That's about 500 meters east of Bruce Road 3. And, you know, I don't think it's any surprise that it looks a lot like that. It was a deteriorated culvert. The irony is, it was a pipe arch that we replaced, and it was a questionable structure that became a structure because we put a larger pipe in. So anyways, regardless, it is clearly a structure now, yet I had budgeted it under the road. So our request to you is to transfer funds from a road project to a bridge improvement replacement. That's the first thing. The second thing is to acknowledge that in our original planning, our forces have done those cutoff walls in the past. This is south side looking north. Culvert flows from south to north. Just to be aware that that concrete goes down another 4 feet and sits on a footing. Our forces from Wyerton have been very good at doing these, but given the situation this summer, they were unable to get there at the correct time, so we had a contractor do it, and we're asking for your acknowledgement that a contractor did the work and the cost was in the amount of about $13,000. That's a brief overview, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Brian. The recommendation reads that the $100,000 be transferred from the paved road capital to the bridge and culvert capital to acknowledge the installation of the Robertson culvert 4016200 on Bruce Road 40C, approximately 400 meters east of Bruce Road 3, and that the invoice from Owen King in the amount of approximately $13,000 plus HST for the installation of the concrete cutoff wall on the Robertson culvert be approved. Any discussion on, I'm sorry, I need a mover and a seconder for the motion. Moved by Ann, second by Mike. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor of the motion? That's carried. Thank you. We're on, Brian, to action item B, Bruce Road 40.
Again, to refer to the map, Mr. Chairman, when I had mentioned that in 2010 and 11, we did the work from Grey Bruce line on Road 40 to County Road 10. In doing that, we bought widening along that probably 3-kilometer stretch. When we purchase widening 17 feet on either side of the road of generally a 66-foot wide original road allowance, is we make the commitment to the landowner that if we encounter tile drains, that we will make good. And there is a situation there where we acknowledge that the utility we asked to relocate clearly got into some of the field tile. It took us some time to come up with a solution, the landowner being adamant, and we have a proposal before us that would overcome our obligation to when we buy land, and that's included in the report, I believe, Mr. Chairman, as a recommendation. I do note that that the funds are a reallocation from a small pool of funds that we have each year, about $30,000 for acquiring land that is somewhat opportunistic. This year we don't see us having that opportunity arising. Consequently, is we're able to recommend that we take some of that $30,000, $10,000, and put it as a new asset under road section 40A to accommodate this obligation that we have as a part of land purchase. I do note there's a bit of a subtlety in the sense that we had unspent this money in 15, so the funds had come to the 16 budget from a reserve. It unspent in 15, put into a reserve that came into the 16 budget, and I was asked to acknowledge that it came from a reserve.
Very good. The recommendation in this matter, I'll read it, that the Bruce County Road Section 40A be added to the 2016 Paved Road Capital Program in the amount of $10,000, with funds being reallocated from the paved road land purchases item funded from reserves, and that the Magart Farm Drainage Limited, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, Brian? Marquette, thank you. The Marquette Farm Drainage Limited be awarded the work to resolve the drainage issues on Project 40A in the amount of approximately $10,000. Do you have a mover or seconder for that motion? Moved by Ann, seconded by Robert. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor of the motion? That motion's carried. Thank you. So, Brian, that takes us to items 2C, parking adjacent to county roads and designated areas.
Mr. Chairman, the department has received calls on and off in the community of Hepworth to deal with parking that has caused some difficulty to the community. In working with the municipality, we believe that the resolve is to put up a limitation to parking in certain areas. We therefore recommend that our bylaw be amended to acknowledge those two locations.
The recommendation reads that the bylaw be introduced to regulate parking adjacent to county highways and in designated areas, and that all previous bylaws and amendments be rescinded. Have a mover for that motion? Ann, perfect, 3 in a row. And Robert, thank you. Any discussion on the motion? No discussion. All in favor of the motion? And that's carried. Thank you. Information items, tender summary is attached. Any comments on that, Brian? I certainly do, Mr. Chairperson. We're thrilled that we're finally going to get the handrail put on the bridge culvert in Lucknow. As just a bit of an update, our people upstairs tell us that the contractor has sent the fabricated components to be dipped, hot dip galvanized, and the contractor is expected to be on site in mid-November.
And we've got a group of very interested citizens that contact us regularly down there, and I imagine go beyond the county to local municipality aware, and they're aware as well of that we're finally getting this small project complete.
Was there a recommendation around that one, or just information? I guess the report for the tender summary for September the 16th, 2016, until October 27th, 2016 is for information. Do we need a mover and a second for the recommendation? Okay, we don't require one, thank you, that's for information. Moving on to another information, items 3B is the Wyerton Shop update. What, Brian?
I think the pictures identify where we stand right now. The site servicing work is complete. Site grading work has been, for the portion done in 2016, is nearing completion. The materials inside the building, the concrete walls are up, and the contractor is tidying up one or two other jobs, and then we'll bring full crew to this site shortly.
Good. Sounds good. Correspondence referred. 2A. Carson's Camp. Any comments on that, Brian?
You had received correspondence in the spring, and a very competent consultant had undertaken a very thorough review of the potential signalization or partial signalization of the intersection. We're now working with both the owner and the consultant to move forward with a solution.
And 4B is correspondence referred to Ontario Good Roads Association.
I think a well-written document that sort of outlines the position of OGRA with respect to what was formerly the joint conference.
Anyone wants to comment on that information item? Noted and filed. The next, nothing further. Brian?
No, Mr. Chairperson.
Oh, that's good. Okay, the next meeting's November the 17th. Nothing further. The next meeting's November the 17th. We'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by Ann, second by Robert. We're adjourned. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.